This is a special place. Taksar Rinpoche is the brother of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He's an incarnated Lama. He's a recognized Tulku. He's a very special individual and is creating a very special energy here on this land. It's not immune to obstacles as we all have, but when we step back at those small little obstacles and see the bigger picture, he's a very special man. This is a very special place. What's happening here is very special within American tradition, within world tradition. Historically, the Tibetans have been isolated with the Tibetan Buddhism and the Dalai Lamas and the High Lamas, etc. for a long time, centuries and centuries, and now we have this very small window of opportunity where this is opening up to peoples of the world, and particularly now in America. So in that sense, this is an incredibly special gathering place, person who has created this request. Important that as we go through this whole mandala exercise, practice, training, that we try never to lose sight of why we're doing all this. We're not doing it for an academic pursuit, to write a book or to brag to others, boy, I know all about this Kalachakra. That's not what it's meant for. What it's really meant for is to serve others. That's really key. And then we may say, well, how's all this going to serve others? How do you connect that? Well, the connection is, as His Holiness was talking, we recognize that by helping other people in whatever we do, we can only do so much, and we recognize how limited we are. So the real goal is to try to be fully helpful in the most complete way possible, and that's through enlightenment. So what we're doing here is we're trying to become enlightened so that we can guide others and really fully eliminate suffering forever and bring joy into people's life that is long-lasting forever. And so that's the deeper reason that we're doing all this, and we should try not to lose sight of that. I wanted to mention that. The other point that's really important is as we go through all this, it sounds very mechanical, and in some ways it can be very mechanical to build all this visualization. We have to be very clear about emptiness, wisdom, because if we build it like we build a tent or anything we build, that's different. That's not what we're doing. We have to have an understanding that these things are all dependently arisen. They don't have any existence from their own side. And so we have to really build the foundations of compassion, and particularly bodhicitta, the full compassion, and the emptiness or the wisdom side. And we develop that in our minds before we do any of the visualization and try to keep that there. So it's as if we add the visualization to that swimming pool, which is very vast and unlimited, of the compassion or the bodhicitta and the wisdom. Without it, it becomes not really the practice. So.
This discussion is truly global. It's on the internet.
Among different traditions, inspired different tradition, different belief, but we all have common aim, common responsibility, and common practice. So it is very, very important to use that common practice, common experience, and make common effort to achieve common goal. That's peace, world peace, peace through inner peace.
lunch. They could go up there to lunch, but if you walked around up there, you felt like you were in a Tibetan community up there. I mean, just all these little stores. You know, I mean, in Tibetan we call that bazaar. It just felt little trinket shops. I mean, these are, you know, from carpet to tankas to Tibetan sculptures to T-shirts. I mean, it's just that feeling of a Tibetan little community. It was just very, very well, it was very well run up there.
It is said, though, that the sand mandala goes way back. For example, His Holiness, I think about 10 years ago, visited a place in eastern India called Amaravati. And this is where the Buddha was supposed to have given Kalachakra initiation for the first time. And what was interesting, there's not much there. There's some bricks that they found, and maybe a stupa, and they've got that in some museums. But there's not much there kind of physically that's still there. But what's really interesting is that some of the local people that His Holiness with some of the monks visited, that on special days, they will, particularly the Kalachakra day, the 15th day of the third month by the lunar calendar, they will make outside of their homes in white sand, very detailed, a form of a mandala. Now, it's not as detailed or exactly the same as the Kalachakra mandala that people are making, but there are a lot of similarities. And I was told by some of the monks that were there, that His Holiness was extremely happy with that tradition over the centuries is carried down and still exists in those villages.
Once again, we wish to thank His Holiness the Dalai Lama for giving the Kalachakra teachings. We are also very grateful for the presence of the venerable head lamas of the four sacred traditions in Bombo, who have taken the time and trouble and effort to travel so far from their monasteries in India and Nepal to come to Bloomington, Indiana. We also wish to thank the abbot and monks of Namgyal Monastery for all their efforts in performing the Kalachakra ceremonies. We want to thank our advisory board members for all their support and our sponsors for the generous financial assistance. We want to give special mention to all the volunteers, the City of Bloomington, and the State Department who have worked so hard to make this event run smoothly and safely. We thank you very much. Finally, our heartfelt gratitude goes to all of you who have come to our center to support our endeavors to promote the cause of peace and harmony in the world. Without the vision and direction of my father, Thupten J. Norbu, we could not have made this Kalachakra initiation possible. Thank you very much.
Each of us has been greater empowered to go from here to live out those values that we heard the Dalai Lama espouse, and that our individual actions will combine like little tiny rivulets of water with others' actions into streams that will form mighty rivers, and that ultimately we will have an ocean of peace and harmony in the 21st century.